Hey, Tamiko.
Hey Cam.
All right. So, hello, global. We give a global welcome. That's what we do over here. We give a global welcome to everyone that's going to start being a part of this community. Welcome to Therapists Talk, okay? Because I'm a therapist and
I'm a therapist.
yes, and we're just going to talk. It's called Therapist Talk, real friends. For how long, Tam?
31 years.
31 years. Okay. We met each other in high school, Brooklyn, New York, Erasmus Hall High School. Okay. So this is Therapist Talks. We are real friends who we have something to say. I mean, everybody else in the world has something to say and rightfully so, right? Like our life experiences are about sharing and helping other people to grow and to just get some tips and tricks and learn. So we're going to share with you today. Today's our first episode, so we want you guys to subscribe. We want you guys, I'm freezing, I see it, but we want you guys to subscribe. We want you guys to follow and just like, just get in. Let's talk. Let's really talk about what it's like as therapists and some of the different things that we're going through. So today, though, we're going to talk about our past. We're going to talk about our potential. We're also going to talk about how we had to pivot in life based on just where we're transitioning from. And we're definitely going to talk about our purpose. So we're going to spend about 15 minutes with you, 15 to 20 minutes. And we hope you get something from this. All right. Anything, Tam, before we start?
No, let's just get into it. Let's get into the past a bit about how we met because we're getting into September now and it always reminds me about how we met.
Go for it.
Okay. Hold on. No. You go because your version is so different. And I
Me?
heard your version throughout
Okay.
the years, but I think when I heard it last year was the time I laughed the hardest. Every year that I hear our meeting story makes me laugh even more. But you revealed
So
something new.
nothing new. So I might clip off some pieces, but I know you. You'll be like, you are not clipping off that piece. I'm telling the world exactly
All
how it
right, go ahead.
happened. So, as I said before, we grew up in Brooklyn, New York, East Flatbush. I am originally born and raised in Jamaica, West Indies, and we're both of Caribbean heritage. And we used to live apart, like I think a block apart or
A
something,
block
right?
apart,
Like a block apart,
half a block technically,
not
but
half a block, half a block apart. And you moved across the street, right?
yeah. Like I lived up the street for years, and then before we even met, I lived up the street for a very long time. And then when we met, I moved maybe a year or two later across the street from you. Yeah,
Right,
they
right,
sold that house, so we moved.
right. And you used to go to the junior high school. What's the name of your junior high school again?
It was Whitman, Walt Whitman.
But you and Sig, right? You used to go to.
Yes, in the
I know
past.
nothing about that. I attended IS 61, Leffords, Atwell. Okay.
Crickets.
So so basically, I started, we met up we were in the Gateway program. So the Gateway program in Erasmus at the time, and that was, oh my God, Tam, that was 1992,
Yeah,
1992,
I
right?
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So we're in the Gateway program. It's a campus science and math program, and that's where we met. And the first thing I noticed, I'm just gonna be real honest, I was like, she is tall. That's the first thing I noticed. I was like, that's a tall girl. But in my mind, I was like, nah, she's tall. We need to be friends. Like I don't know, something about the
Tell them
tall
why. You know why. Tell them why.
wants me to spill my business. So I was like, oh my God. Cause I came out of junior high and I was like pretty small and I was just a pretty small person. And I was like, oh, she's tall and I'm in high school. Yeah, I'm gonna be friends with her. Nobody won't fight me. Nobody won't fight me in high school. Because I have a tall friend. Listen, whatever, right? So I was like, I have a tall friend. I'm gonna be good in high school, and that's how it started. Like literally, we became friends, and that's it. And then our friendship literally just blossomed and grew from there. Anything you want to add to that, Sam?
Okay, so yes, as your protector, I did not know for a while. When I met you, though, I remember you coming up, and I remember thinking you are loud. You are loud, and you talk a lot. But it was like so opposite to me because I'm so quiet. And it's so
Mm,
funny you pick me as the bodyguard because I'm so quiet, I'm so chill.
so
But I
chill.
could see the visual in being 14, right? But I just remember thinking you're so opposite to me, it seems on the surface, but you're so optimistic, which is so much like me. So I feel like that's been a common thread throughout our friendship. This kind of Pollyanna view of life, but knowing life has harsh realities too,
Mm,
but also like just having the temperament of being an optimistic person. That's what drew me to you. And I think that's what's led to us being friends for 31 years.
Years.
Yeah.
I agree. I absolutely agree. So that's how we met. Let's talk about our potential. You can start there.
Okay. So potential, we talked about like dreams that we had and dreams that we put on hold, right? Um, I remember after we met, there was a period in time where I moved to a different country halfway through high school. And I feel like my potential where I started high school in New York changed as I moved because like my life situation changed and then life just got really hard and my mom wasn't around. So just became really difficult, and I kind of had to shift and pivot in terms even of my dreams, right? So I remember having a dream of being a therapist from when I was very young and watching Growing Pains.
Growing pains, Ellen Thick, right? And
Alan
Kirk
Thicke.
Cameron. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I think there were the Seavers,
Tracy,
and I remember
the
Dr. Seaver
Seavers.
having his house and people were
Yeah.
coming there, and I was just like, I want to do that part, but I do want to be
Mm.
a therapist. I do want to help people, even from back
I didn't
then.
know that it was growing pains, Sam. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That definitely showed me that it could be possible in
Okay.
terms of like how to do it as a therapist, right? Because he had his family, he had his home, but I always wanted to be a therapist even before then.
Okay.
Young days, I was pediatrician, and as it started to evolve, and people would just naturally gravitate towards me, even as a young person, and just tell me like their life story, and then we just talk about it. And I just really liked how that was. So that's how I came to wanting to be a therapist. So that was definitely the dream. It went on hold in my 20s with life and
Yeah.
I think helping my family. And
Okay.
then now in my 40s, went back to school. And as of 2 weeks ago, I finished with my master's program in counseling psychology.
Congratulations. Everybody
Thank
congratulate
you.
my best friend.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Did
you.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, so still some steps to be fully licensed, but in terms of being a registered psychotherapist, because I'm in Canada, that's what it is. I am. So thank you, Boo. So that was
Okay.
my dream. That was the hold, and this is where we are now.
That's fantastic. Wow. I never knew about the Seavers. So that's
Mhm.
cool to know. That's cool to know. For me, it was in Brooklyn, New York. I think I was attending an elementary school called either PS 92 or PS 91. And my teacher, I remember her name. It's funny what we remember, Miss Clark. There was a little boy in the class, Richard, and he was just having a really hard time. Like he was always getting in trouble. He was always, it was something that was like the teacher was like, oh, he's disrupting the class. It was something going on with Richard. And my teacher in the second grade always used to call me and said, and tell Richard, go to Kimberly, go to Kimberly, you'll be all right. And I'm sitting there like, I'm in the second grade. What
Right.
do you do with, with a little boy who's having a hard time like behaving
Hmm.
doing his work and
Yeah.
something. She saw something. I don't know, but that's where it started for me. And literally every single time Richard would have a moment, that's where she would send him, and
Okay.
he would be in front of me, and I would be able to now I know the term is de-escalate. I would
Right.
able to help him to de-escalate, help him to emotionally regulate. Now I know these terms, but back then it was just like, okay, Richard, what do you like to do? Like I would just, it was
Mhm.
connection. It was always a
Right.
connection for me. And I realized that, and that was like elementary. And then I kept going, and all through the professional journey, that was
Mhm.
read. It was some sort of counseling, some sort of helping. Even when I was a substitute teacher, I found, yes, I'm supposed to be teaching, but at
Right.
times I found myself counseling. And
Mhm.
so that was the thread for me. And I used to watch Oprah all growing up,
Yeah.
and I was like, wow. I was like to sit
Mhm.
there and listen to people, and not
Yeah.
only listen, but listen to the last thing they said, so you can know where to pick up and where to keep pulling,
Mhm.
from their stories and stuff. And that was also a part of something that made me interested in psychology as well.
Mhm.
Iyanla Vincent. I remember when she did the show Starting Over.
Mhm.
They used to come on, and she did that.
Yeah.
And I used to always love her, like her real talk approach. And I just
Yeah.
like, oh, that's me. That's just, I
Mhm.
just loved, I love the way she get to the root of things and get to it
Mhm.
fast. I love the way that she maintained people dignity.
Mhm.
So that's literally, and I got into school, and I was like, I'm gonna do psychology, and
Yeah.
that's where it started. But
Mhm.
I think the other part is I did psychology, but if I knew what I know now, I
Mhm.
would have done a bachelor's in social work.
Okay.
As with that, it would have gotten me into the helping professional faster. And there's a lot
Right.
of
Yeah.
dynamics between social work and psychology, and social work and counseling. And social work is like this, well-known industry and field and things. I felt in that moment something was missing. When did you feel
Mhm.
something was missing for you?
Um, you know what? I think when I finished university, I did a double major. So I did psychology and I did neuroscience, right? And then afterwards, I started working with clients with brain injuries pretty much right out of school. Like even when I was in school, I was working with clients
Right.
with dual diagnosis. I've had two jobs in my whole life, dual diagnosis and then ABI, acquired brain injury.
I had several.
Yeah, seriously, two jobs. And I'm in my 40s, and one job, it's almost 20 years. Next year makes it 20 years I'm at that job, right? And I got in there and it was just like, it kind of appealed to both sides of me because I felt like I couldn't right after university go into my master's because I was helping my family financially in different ways, right? So then I'm just like, okay, I'm going to take a little rest. And I feel like my mental health wasn't the greatest too, honestly, when I look back at it,
Okay.
right when I was finished with university, because of like my living situation in terms of my family. So I'm kind of battling with those two things. So I went into something that was adjacent, which was working with clients with acquired brain injuries. And
Okay.
I'm there for quite a while, quite a while, quite a while. And my job is the kind of job where you're not unhappy. You're not exactly happy, but you're not unhappy.
You're not unhappy. Okay.
Right. It's
Mhm.
like enough. Like you get paid well, for our field, you get
Yeah.
paid pretty well. The people you work with are really cool. The clients are great for the most part, most of the time. So there's nothing that's wrong,
Mm.
nothing that's glaring like you got to get out.
Okay.
So you get comfortable. And
Mm.
then you're there for a
That
while
word.
at work. Yeah, you're comfortable. There's nothing that's so wrong that's like, girl, you need to pivot.
Yeah.
So there for a few years and then kind of got a little antsy. Okay, what am I doing next in my life? Because I do have this goal,
Mhm.
right? Then there's the financial piece,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I just spent all
Always.
this time paying off my student loans and living on residence, paid all of that off. And I'm like, I don't want to get into that again,
Mm.
right? So what I wish I could tell myself back then was do the student loan again because
Mm.
you'll get into the career faster and then you're able to pay off the student loan so much faster,
Mm. Yeah.
right? Because I crunched to pay that off because I just didn't want to be in debt anymore, and my mind just couldn't go back into
Right.
debt. So For me, though, got uncomfortable, and then I moved to Korea for a year. That's why it's almost 20 years. But I moved to Korea for about a year again, and I lived there previously. And then still, I came back because not quite right either. I felt like I was running away from my life, right? So came
Okay.
back
Yeah.
again, went into the same job, but in a higher position at the same job. Okay, feeling good now. Now I'm getting paid more. The people I'm working with, great. The client's great for the most part. But then a few years pass again, and it's just like, here's this feeling again. So I move up again in the company, right?
Mm, mm,
And same kind of feelings again. And I'm just like, okay, girl, you got to figure this out. You can't keep doing this. There's only two more levels to go in the company, number one.
you were making money, but you
I'm doing
still but
good.
something was still
It's
not
still
as
not
good.
quite it. Like I felt like my purpose was not being
Mm,
fulfilled. And you can throw money at it, you can throw mental health at it, you can throw like whatever at it. You know you're not living in your purpose. And I knew I wasn't living in my purpose.
mhm,
And I remember being in a meeting. I was already talking to my hubby about it, right? And then like, oh my gosh, how am I going to be okay mentally if I go back,
mhm.
right?
Mm,
Because remember,
that part mentally, because you all the
mentally,
other areas you're good. But we
and
overlook the mental so much.
mental,
Wow.
and remember when I
Yeah,
left university, my mental health was starting to not be okay.
I
So now
remember.
I'm thinking about going back into school again. I'm just like, am I going to be okay
Yeah,
mentally to get through this? I know I can get the grades.
yeah.
Mentally, am I going to be okay? So, but we were talking about it, and I was starting to think to apply to grad school, and I'm okay financially now, so I could see how I could just pay for it.
Mhm.
And then I went into this meeting at work, and I've had many of meetings at work, and many of this same meeting at work.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so I go into this meeting. We're talking about the same thing again. Remember, I've been there for a long time, so we've
Mhm,
talked about it many times. No solution. So I came up with something novel. All right. And someone
mhm.
goes, oh, that's a very on Tamiko like thing to say.
On Tamiko like things. So they put you in a box.
They put me in a box. But trust me, her box is very small. So I could see she's
Oh,
in a box.
okay.
Right. So she's trying to put me in her box, but she
Not
can't.
working. Okay.
So,
Okay.
but she said that. And I remember looking at her and I was like, that's actually a very Tamiko like thing to say. I think that's the first and only time I've ever talked about myself in third person. But I was just like, girl. So I was like, that's a very Tamiko-like thing to say. I'm very solution focused. And we keep doing the same thing over and over, and nothing changes. Why do
Right.
you guys think these ideas that you've proposed 20 million times, that we've done 20 million times, will work? At least
Mhm.
I'm offering something new to try. So, bottom line, whether we tried it or not, that's not even the point. I
Right.
just remember being in that meeting, very on Tamiko-like thing to say. These people have worked with me for so long, and they genuinely don't know me.
Wow.
And it's because my potential is too big for here. I applied to school that same weekend.
You
I
applied to school
started,
that
it
was
was
the
like Thursday, and I applied to school on Saturday.
wow.
I'm like, I got to get out of here. And once again, nothing is wrong.
Mhm.
The people I work with are great. The
Yeah.
clients are great for the most part.
For the most right,
But
right.
I need to get out. I need to elevate. I need to grow. I need to live in my purpose.
Mm.
Yeah, that
Wow.
sentence.
On Tamiko like, huh? Wow.
Yeah,
And worked with
but
you for so long.
yeah, but you know what? Her and I, we recently had, funny enough, me and the same person, we really recently had something at work. And I wouldn't call it a blowout, but it was the most that I've ever felt, I think, annoyed at work by simply being misunderstood at work. And we worked through all of it. We worked through all of it. And I explained to her, as a white
Right.
woman, I explained to her the face that we have to put on as Black women, all of those pieces. So it
Okay.
was like the most honest conversation we've ever
Oh,
had,
don't you
right?
love those conversations?
It was a beautiful combo. But then I went back to
Mhm.
2+ years ago when that comment was made,
Yeah.
and she was just like, "Oh my gosh, I said that."
Because we evolve as people. We need to give people the room to evolve. Oh
Exactly.
my God,
And I
that's
was just like, I
beautiful.
never held that as something against you, but
Yeah,
I use that as I have got to move on from this.
yeah.
Right. So then she read White Fragility. Like we talked a lot about Black White. So
Okay.
she's really trying to understand like the faces and how statements like that
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
room full of only white people and me, how that can influence and impact how I feel about the company, I feel about you, how I feel about me, like all of those pieces. It was
Wow.
incredible. Yeah,
Oh my God, evolve.
you
That's so
will.
great for the both of you to be at the place where you can have that conversation. And I'm sure
Yeah.
she's better for it and you
Mhm.
are better for it. So,
Yeah, she came
um,
and thanked me after. She came in and she read the book and she's just like a lot of the things that you were talking about. Well, we'll get into it at later points, but just
yeah,
some like things that are systematic racism
yeah.
within the company that they're like, oh no, it's not there. We're Canadian. We can't
Microaggression.
be. It's still there.
Yeah, it's there.
It's
It's
there.
there.
Y'all just smile when y'all do it because you're Canadian.
So as y'all heard, right, Tamiko had two jobs. Me, on the other hand, very different.
You had three?
Very, very different. I had two plus, plus, plus,
Two
plus.
plus.
But no, seriously, in terms of, where I've been, like, I've had the opportunity to work in the foster care industry. I've had the opportunity to work with developmentally disabled in the OPWDD. I've had the opportunity to work in HR in corporate. That's just my journey, right? Like it was about trying the different things and being a part, but all of them was in service to a greater purpose.
Mhm.
And that was great. As Samiko said, like for her, it was good. Nothing was wrong. Everything was good. The only thing that was wrong for me is I was just tired of home visits.
Right.
I was. You remember time?
Yeah.
I was like I have had it. I love people. I love my work. I love what I do, but I really don't want to do any more home
Yeah.
visits and
And
so
some of
forth.
them were unsafe for you. I remember that piece.
Yes, yes. So
Mhm.
that wasn't my favorite part of it.
Okay.
But some of it was also great. And just that whole piece about the career and doing that. And then eventually I did my internship and everything. I attended Long Island University, hey LIU in Brooklyn, right across from Juniors. That's where I
Mhm.
got my master's in counseling and development, and then I got an advanced certification in mental health counseling. And it was great. It was what I needed. It was working in outpatient mental health at the time, and it was great. It was my first official time like working in outpatient, and it was a great experience. But I just felt like something was missing too. I was
Mhm.
like, there's something else.
Yeah.
I love therapy, but I kind of want to do therapy my way.
Mhm.
That's what was ringing.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite songs is Frank Sinatra, I'm doing it my way, do it my way.
Mhm.
And that's really what I wanted, right? So I just wanted to do therapy my way. I wanted to do it, involving some creative aspects. I wanted to do it
Mhm.
not so much focusing on the heavy, intense paperwork. I
Right.
just wanted to do it differently. I also wanted to do it with a faith-based component,
Mhm.
So I just wanted to do it my way. So when I got my license, I decided that I am leaving the 9 to 5. And that's when I realized I'm in my purpose.
Mhm.
Purpose. That's when I wrote my book. I
Yeah.
wrote my book, Winning Conversations in 2022. Winning Conversations, must have conversations with friends, families, and fellow humans. It's on Amazon. Please feel free to go get it. And that's when I said, yeah, this is it for me.
Mhm.
We're both going to be doing the same thing. We're going to be
Mhm.
helping people in the way
Yeah.
that we do it, right, Tam?
Right.
Like
Mhm.
what you bring to
Yeah.
therapy, the person. Like one of the things I always tell Tamiko is when I'm sitting in front of my clients, my thing is be present, stay present. staying present with them, seeing when
Yeah.
their emotions shift and change and stuff. So Tam, as you see your clients, do you
Mhm.
see the importance of like staying present with them?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I'll give you a little thing even before seeing the first person in my practicum. So I finished my degree, right, with the exception of the practicum piece. And I realized towards the last class that I could do it a little bit differently, right? I was just kind of powering through. But in the last couple of classes, when I'm talking to people in the classes, everyone's taking breaks. And I was just like, I'm going to take a break. I felt like I needed to fill my own cup up,
Ah, yes.
right? So
Yes.
that I could fully be present in sessions. So
Yeah.
I took a couple months and then I came back and then got into it. And I specifically went for an organization that works with BIPOC population.
Okay.
So the majority of people that I've seen are Black women. It just worked out that way. And I love it so much.
I bet
I
you
love
do.
it. Oh my gosh. I'm just like, I feel in my element. I feel in my purpose. I feel when we are in session together, there's such a beautiful space
Yeah.
that I remember feeling in my life whenever people would come and speak to me, even as a young child. People would always come and tell me so much, not burden, but come and talk and we'll share, and it's dialogue and it's evolution. And that's what I'm getting in the sessions. By being fully present, I can help someone else evolve. And
Mhm.
then the part that I read about, but now I know is true, is I do evolve as well because I learned so much about myself and about how I grieve and about how I relate to my family. And I take all of those kind of points that kind of like spring up for me in sessions, and then I do the work through reflection, through
Mhm.
therapy, through supervision,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, you connect with that too.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
I've learned so much about myself. I learn a lot about myself during
Yeah,
therapy sessions. Um, I learn my triggers. You know,
yeah,
when you hear other people's stories and triumphs and trauma, you're human.
yeah,
So you are going to remember your own, you
yeah.
know, and it is about doing the work. And sometimes it even challenges me. It's like, you're helping your clients with this. When are you gonna get help with it? When are you
Right,
good, right? Like, and
right.
that's a beautiful, I think that's a beautiful space in therapy
Mhm.
because you literally now get to get the help you need so
Right.
that you can be even more of a greater support for your clients
Mhm.
and so forth.
Yeah.
um Tam, if there was like no limits,
Mhm.
what's your biggest dream? And we can start like wrapping up, but what's your biggest dream?
My biggest
No
dream,
limits.
as soon as you said it, I came to my family. My biggest dream is for my family to be okay financially, like even in terms of like my mom and my brothers, right? Just for everyone to be okay financially. And then I feel like that's when I would see the best in terms of everyone's like even just their evolution, right? Like
Mhm.
maybe giving the time and the space to work through their generational trauma too, right? And to fulfill their purpose. So for me, when I think about my dream, it would be for my family to be okay. For me to live somewhere where I can see water. I
Love
have this
water.
vision that I'm gonna live in a house and just see water when I look outside. Um, My husband is so wonderful. Like I'm so happy there.
Love him.
Right?
Yeah.
He's the best.
Yeah, he is the
Um,
best.
but yeah, just I think I'm getting more towards what that is for me. And you know what's funny? When I was younger, I always wanted to be happier,
Mm.
right? Yeah, just
Mm.
because, trust me, girl, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
life,
yeah.
family, especially generational trauma, especially.
Mhm.
So I remember always wanting to be happier, but going back to Ilanla, because that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
a
Sorry, I'm not
life
saying the name correct. I think it's Iyanla.
beyond
Yes.
life, like a guiding force to me. Honestly, I almost felt like she was my auntie in my ear.
Okay. Like I
Yeah,
used to take her with
I used to read her
take
book
her
and
with
carry her book
me.
all the books. Let's pluralize it. Even where friends
One,
bring me that as birthday gifts. Her
yes,
books.
one we'll do a video about that because I
We
have a
will.
book called Don't Give It Away from her that I
Mm.
all young people, all young girls, I give that book to.
Oh, I
Yes.
love that. I think mine was Peace, Peace, for Broken
Peace.
Pieces, something like that. That was my book. I used to carry that in my bag. But but I remember just reading her books a lot, especially when I was younger. People would be like, "You're so young. Why are you reading these books?" I'm like, "They're so good." But life had not lifed yet to
No.
where that would make sense for me.
Yeah.
But when it did, I had the foundation and I had those to kind of go back into, right? So I just remember like just like a lot of her life lessons helped, and just life itself and my temperament helped me to realize, I think maybe when I was in my early 20s, I no longer wanted to be happy.
Mm,
Mm-mm. I wanted to be content.
that
When
part.
you're content, you're okay no matter the state that you're in.
That part.
Happy fleets.
Happy
It's
is
fleeting. Happiness is fleeting. If you
yeah.
can learn to be content, you are okay anywhere in the world,
Yeah.
anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why my whole thing is only real joy. Every tag in social media, TikToks, YouTube, Facebook, what's the next one?
Instagram?
Instagram,
Mhm.
only real joy. Fan base. No,
Right.
y'all need to get on fan base. Only real joy because happiness is indeed fleeting. So
Mhm.
at the time it'll last for a moment because of the circumstance, but then
Right.
after that you need something else. You need something else.
Right.
And that's why we're here because we are now in our purpose and we are going full speed ahead. Um, we have something to say, world. Hey,
Yes, we
global
do,
world,
girl.
all the continents out there. Anissa, we'll tell you what that means later. But we call you the Big Seven, right? The Big Seven. But yeah, so we're gonna be back and we're gonna just be
Hold
talking.
on. I know we're wrapping it up,
Yeah,
but
go.
I want you to answer about your happiness.
Look at me trying to get out of it,
I
right?
can't skip you.
Okay.
Honey. This is my best friend we talk about. It's my best
Gets me
friend.
every time. She catches me every time. I'm like, bye bye. She's like, no, 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 no. Okay.
Yeah, when we're on the phone, she's like, okay, bye. I'm like, no, 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 girl. We talking about me. Let's go. I got nothing but time.
No, but time. No, but time. Okay. And that's so nice, right? Like somebody want to hear about you and hear what you think. Y'all get people like that in your life who wants to hear what you have to say, who's not just about themselves. Okay. I digress. Okay. Me, if there was no limits, listen to me. 7 continents out there, all of you on the 7 continents, listen to me. If there were no limits, this is what I would want. My dream is to have my book, Winning Conversations, must have conversations between families, friends, and fellow humans in every single home or household. That's my dream because I wrote it because I want people to really understand it's time to reimagine what winning looks like, right? And I want us to start understanding that it starts from within. It starts from within. So no matter what you don't have in your life, if you have the things that I've mentioned in my book, you win. If you believe that you deserve the best, you win. So that's my dream. I'm so serious, and it ties in with my family too because if that's sold all over the world, my family will be taken care of, right? I will be taken care of. I can help my community better. I can be a part of doing so much more on a larger scale for the kingdom and just for the earth. So that's my dream. Have my book in every household all over the world, and for you guys to sit around your kitchen table, sit in your living rooms, and have winning conversations. All right, Tam,
I
we're
like
gonna
that.
tap out. How you want to end this?
Okay, girl. Well, I got your book in my house. I'm just gonna let you know that.
Because friends support
You
each
got
other,
it.
right? When you were doing your candle business, I bought some candles, right?
Yes, you
Because
did.
friends support each other. Friends support each other. So
Yeah.
I love you, Mama.
I love
You
you,
want to do
Mama.
this for the people?
Oh, we'll definitely do this again.
I'm sorry, therapist talks. Real friends, real talk. See you next time.
See you next time.